Yo, what's good, everybody? We are here, War Rapport, with your halftime reaction show. What a wild ride in the last, minute of the first half?
Yeah, wow, there. What a turn of events. Um, Kentucky probably got robbed of a touchdown there on the goal line. I'm not sure what the refs were looking at there. And then the callback on the interception return. Yeah, probably a little bit of karma for what should have been a touchdown for Kentucky anyway. But yeah, crazy there ending to the first half.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was saying before we jumped on that I really hate where we're going with targeting right now in the sport. You know, that's a kid trying to make a play. If he's out for the rest of that season, I mean, excuse me, for the rest of this game, because of that, that's rough. Um, so we'll see how that plays out going forward. But
Right.
let's talk about upsides and downsides that we've seen so far in the first half. We're going to start on the defensive side of the ball for both teams, as Caesar joins us here on the live stream. Let's start on the defensive side of the ball and talk about what we're seeing, goods and bad, for. Let's start with Kentucky. Who wants to give the good and the bad for Kentucky on their defensive side of the ball?
Well, I mean, defensively, Kentucky is not really doing anything amazing against us. It's really just lack of execution on Auburn's part.
Yeah, I agree.
Bo
Yeah,
Nix is 6 of 11 passing. He's probably got three incompletions there that are definitely on him. One drop by Seth Williams, and then one throwaway. So I can't really say that Kentucky's doing anything in particular that's slowing us down. I mean, we got into their territory, 3 times and didn't score. This is about what I expected pre-broadcast. Remember what I said? They have one good drive, right? A bunch of punts and turning the ball back over, and then the defense gives us a short field or does something crazy that they almost did there at the end of the first half, and that's how we end up at 17-10.
yeah. The one thing I'll say about Kentucky's defense, which we'll probably get into this a little bit when we get into Auburn's offense, is their defensive line has played well. Against the run, they've played okay. I think what we need to be able to do is try to get outside the tackles a little bit more, because that's where we've had success running the ball. Through in the
right.
middle, been very marginal success, but Kentucky's done a good job of controlling the offensive line. So I will give them credit for that. On the back end, they haven't really done anything super impressive as far as great plays on the back end. One coverage sack that was out there, but that's about it. What you got, Caesar, on that side?
You pretty much stole my thunder. It's the defensive line has been able to get a push when we try to run the ball, with the exception of us running it to the outside, like you mentioned. There was one play where a DB made a good play on a long ball, but it was underthrown on the part of Nick. So it goes back to Mike's point in terms of execution. So outside of that, I've been, Kentucky should be pleased with their ability to disrupt our interior run game.
All right, so let's talk about Auburn's defense for a second here. What are we seeing that we like and dislike about Auburn's defense?
Your defensive backs are playing ball. Like they came to play. What did I tell you
In coverage
guys?
situations, there's been a couple of busts, but overall, like when they've been asked to cover guys and when they've been asked to come down into the box, Christian Tutt, I forgot who said something about them being one of the key guys for us this game. Christian Tutt's played an amazing game so far.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made mention of Tut. I think that blown. I think there was a 30-yard pass that they made. I think there was a young kid out there who went in the interior and didn't catch the guy on the wheel route. But
Yeah.
the secondary otherwise have been playing really well.
Can we talk about Simpson? I mentioned this to Mike when we were kind of texting in the middle, or maybe I was I actually verbally said it to him. But this kid Simpson on the outside has been playing pretty well.
Yeah. Agreed.
He has.
Yeah.
He has.
Now let's talk about things that we want to see better from this defense, because there's quite a few things.
Well, I think you just got to give Kentucky's offensive line credit, right? Like their offensive line is elite. They're getting pushed up front against our defensive line, and they're able to run the ball. which can't be understated. So we gave up 120 yards rushing in that first half versus only 53 yards for us. If that stat holds, this game is going to be really hard to win down the stretch. So I expect to see us load the box. Yeah, and have a little bit more of a commitment to stopping the run in the second half and letting our DBs play a little bit more one-on-one, make plays.
Yeah, one thing that I will say though is a lot of those big chunk runs and the things that they were doing came on the bookends of the half, right? So like the first drive they did really well, the end of the half they did really well. In the middle, Kevin Steele, as expected, a really prepared defensive coordinator, made adjustments on the fly in the mid, and just imagine what he's going to go do at the half to try to correct some of these things and get these guys in a position where they can be better to make plays. But defensively, I think the thing that's been disappointing to me outside of the penalties, which like the penalties really cost us in crucial times on third downs.
Right.
Outside of the penalties, the thing that has been disappointing to me, honestly, has been linebacker play. Like I have not seen, like KJ Britt's made a couple of flashes, but his run fits just aren't where they need to be consistently right now. He's getting washed out a lot. And props to Kentucky's offensive line. They're doing a good job of doubling and then getting to the second level. But the linebackers just aren't impacting the game right now. And when you have a quarterback who's as dynamic as Terry Wilson with his feet, you have to have good linebacker play to keep him contained while still being able to plug those holes in the middle. And I just haven't seen it yet from our linebackers.
I think we might see it in the second half. Steele will adjust, definitely.
Hopefully so.
So,
yeah, I think to Mike's point, they haven't stacked the box, and so it's just allowed the O-line room to just work and get to the next level and throw off the linebackers. So I think with us putting pressure on them and their confidence. The confidence in the quarterback after that pick, I mean, they're going to go back to doing what they feel that they can do best, which is running the football. So it's incumbent upon us to match that and try to take them out of their game, out of their comfort zone, which is running the ball.
Right, but in spite of all that, we are on pace to give up 500 yards of offense, and they only have 7 points on the board.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
so
the defense has been traditional bend, don't break, except for that one touchdown, which again – If we don't jump off sides, they probably only come away with 3 if they don't have to punt on that drive.
Right.
So like the defense hasn't been terrible, but they have definitely not been shut out. Now let's flip it over to the other side of the ball and let's talk Kentucky's offense. What are they doing really well offensively in your eyes?
Just running the ball.
I think it's a scheme thing too. Like I think the thing is their offensive coordinator is doing a really great job of putting their run game in positions where they're getting leverage pretty easily. If it's not a design quarterback keep, they're doing a lot of things against our pressure, and it's allowing for those runs to happen because they're really just out leveraging us. And it's not just a hat on a hat thing. It's like, okay, these are designed to go this way, and that's the way that it's going. So I expect again the adjustments on defense by Kevin Steele to make that a little more tough for them in the second half. And hopefully on the back end, they'll continue to play solid because they're going to put it on Terry Wilson's shoulders. If I'm a betting man, Kevin Steele's going to make Terry Wilson beat us.
Eddie Graham made the call. Eddie Graham made the call of the game to me with that screen on that 3rd and long on the first drive where Kevin Steele just all out blitzed and just exploited us on what should have been a punt to us. It led to a score for them. So, like Eddie Graham has called a good game in terms of taking advantage of what we like to do. We like to bring pressure, and so he's used that against us. And so, again, Steele is adjusted, and I just expect him to make even more adjustments in the second half.
All right, Auburn's offense. What have we liked about it? What have we not liked about it?
I like the play calling for the most part. Like it's still, but it's highly dependent on execution. I don't like the execution. Right. I can't say that we've really been bad up front, in terms of the offensive line. I think, that we're getting average play there. But I'm going to be pretty hard on Bo Nix here.
That's not a shot. But go ahead.
For this, right? Like you're in your You're in your second year, right? You started every game last year. And, the difference between good teams and great teams are the 3 throws that he missed, right? That likely lead to points in some, again, you're talking about 3 to 10 points off the board on those misses, right? Because we turn the ball over. So I think they're putting him in a good position to execute. But, like, you can't, even with the DB, the defensive lineman on you, that throw to the flat to shoot Schwartz, you can't miss that throw. You just can't miss that throw.
Right.
The underthrow on the deep ball, again, with 2 defenders around, it ended up incomplete, could have been a disaster. You can't make that throw, right? And 6'4", 11, at home in front of a limited crowd. I mean, this is what we saw last year, right? So,
what's not what we saw last year is he only threw the ball 11 times. Last year, he'd have had twice as many throws at this point in the game, and they'd have been a lot of throws that were behind the line of scrimmage, him running for his life, just getting rid of it. There would have been a lot more of that. And so what I do give credit to is, though he hasn't made stellar throws, he hasn't made completely disastrous throws. There was a potentially disastrous throw to that one that was pretty much a jump ball to Seth Williams on the first drive. I was talking to Mike about this when it happened. It looked like somebody ran the wrong route because there were 2 receivers right in the same area. So they basically ran coverage into that route. So still not a great decision on Bo Nix's part. The other one, that's the underthrow to Schwartz on the out route. Again, he was falling down when he's trying to throw that. He initially was going to take off running, and then he saw the guy close on him. So he's like, okay, let me try to get rid of this quickly. I don't necessarily fault him for that. Again, if he's an elite quarterback, he probably makes that play. But that one right there is not his fault. Seth Williams drops the very first pass of the game. That's a quick slant, hits him right in the hands. That's not on Bo Nix. So. And then the other one, you've got the fade route that he threw to Seth Williams that missed when we were down in what was it, like 1st and goal when we were down there. They throw a quick fade route that they missed. The other miss,
he threw it away.
It was a throwaway. He just threw the ball away. So again, not a bad game from Bo Nix so far. A couple of throws that he probably wishes he could have back, but overall not a bad game. I think this just comes down to, for me, we're not able to run the ball. And when you can't be balanced on offense and run the ball well, effectively, it limits what you can call as a play caller, which I think, Chad Morris has called a good game so far.
Yeah, I don't know that we don't need to be a running football team.
I said balance, though. I'm not saying that we have to be run heavy, but you have to have balance.
But you can be if he makes those throws, though, because it opens up more.
I think you're being a little heavy-handed on some of these throws.
Listen. He's got to make these throws this year, Ike. He missed these throws last year. This is the first game of the season. It's a great match. He's got to make these throws. That's it. It's bottom line. He's got to go out there.
I'm going to disagree with you on how well Bo Nix has played. I think he's played a good game.
I think it's more of the same. We're seeing more of the same of last year. I don't see anything that says that he's improved.
I disagree.
The scheme has improved. The scheme has clearly improved.
Hitting the guys that are open when he's been put in the position to do that. That was not something you could say of him last year. He was missing wide open guys, and he is not. No one.
He's done that this game.
Where?
3 of the 5 incompletions should have been completions.
That's not a true statement that he's missed wide open guys. Where's the wide open throw that he missed?
Schwartz was open. Schwartz was open.
That's again, you are
right. Schwartz was open. Schwartz was open. The throw down the middle to Seth Williams should have never even happened. He shouldn't even have made that throw. It was a dumb throw. And
my question is, where is he missing wide open receivers? And you said a throw that was into coverage.
All right. Okay. So it's a miss. It's a mix between throws that he missed and throws he should have never made. Period. Okay. Right.
The most elite quarterbacks in the NFL make some of those same mistakes in those same situations.
Okay, but we need him to make those throws this year. We need him to make those throws. These are the same.
Name me a quarterback that you think makes those throws.
Joe Burrow.
No, I disagree. That Joe Burrow makes
Tua.
I disagree. I disagree.
Matt Jones at Alabama. Do they all make those throws? Or they make better plays? Dude,
I
we're not
disagree.
getting good
I
quarterback
fundamentally
play.
disagree. You cannot point to me instances where they made those throws that you're talking about. That's just not.
Or they
That's
don't
incorrect
make them
statement.
at all. They make better throws. That's the point. That's the
definite.
point.
Now maybe
But Nix was,
you could say that
but
about
will
Joe
you agree
Burrow.
that Nix was under duress on that play he missed Schwartz?
No, he's not going to give him credit for that because apparently he has to be perfect even under duress.
Yeah, listen,
He was under duress. Again, I give him a little
he's
grace
got
for
to make
that.
that throw. No, he's got to
No,
make that throw.
I fundamentally
that throw.
disagree that he has to. That's not a throw. That's an easy throw.
He didn't even give Schwartz a chance to catch
He was
it.
falling down during the throw because he was getting his legs taken out from under him.
Oh
Dude,
man,
it's not like he's
you
standing
guys are assigning too much to that. Like, listen, we've seen this.
That's
before.
not
We've
too
seen
much.
This ball game. The all positive that we see from Bo Nix this first half was that he didn't throw a pick. That's it, and he could have very well had one of those.
That's completely untrue, dude.
Well, guys, I mean, at the same time, we still have to run the ball. We're just going to have to agree to disagree there.
Yeah,
but
sure.
we do have to run the ball on third and short, fourth and short. Because we got to be able to do those things. That keeps drives and going, and that keeps momentum going for our rhythm going as well.
Yeah, you could say that of any football team, though, right?
And
like,
you could say that of any quarterback. Like
that's what we're doing.
That's what I'm saying. Like this is not. I made the point in the pregame that again, the days of Auburn being a run-first team are clearly like that's not what's winning. We need.
That's not the point we're making.
Right. Okay. So Whitlow's gone, and we knew that we were going to have to rely on Bo Nix's arm this game. And then you guys are pointing back to the run game. I'm like, no, man, we knew we were going to have to rely on his arm.
I'm saying if we're not getting like 3rd and 1, we should be able to run and get a first down.
That has nothing to do with Bo Nix's arm.
We should be able to block it up and get 1 yard on 3rd down. That's not happening right now. And that's my point, is that if you make it to where we have to throw every time, even on 3rd and short, you're putting yourself in a bad position. We need to be able to run effectively. I didn't say run first.
But there were drives that we had that stalled. They didn't have nothing to do with not being able to pick up the 3rd and 1, right? Like he had two of the 5 incompletions. If he completes them, we get some points on that drive, right? I just haven't seen anything that says that this is going to be any different from last year. That's my point. My point is this is same old offense. Right? Like the scheme is better. The scheme is better. They're putting him in better positions. He's not making the plays.
We definitely agree to disagree on that then, because
I mean, we'd have more than 8 points on the board if that was the case.
Yeah, I fundamentally do not agree with that point at all. That Bo Nix has not played a good game. The throws that he's missed have been the only throw that I will say, man, you can't make that throw, is the early jump ball he throws to Seth Williams. Everything else, I can definitely see how he missed those throws. Everything else, I don't know how you're weighing what you expect to see from a guy falling down.
He should be 9 for 11. He should be 9 for 11 right now in this game. He should be 9 for 11 in this game. That's the difference. That's the difference between 8 points and 20 points in this game. Those three throws.
I disagree. So, as far as the offensive line is concerned, they haven't done much that has been impressive to me. What I do like, though, still is we definitely see a different scheme in the offense. The offense looks completely different. We're throwing the ball in multiple levels. We're throwing the short passes. We're throwing the intermediate. We haven't seen anything really deep yet. They're all still been intermediate throws. So I haven't seen them take any shots as of yet, but I think what they are doing is making Kentucky defend the entire field. Something you talked about pregame, Caesar, is 11 on 11. Everybody's got to come to play, every single player. Otherwise, there's going to be somebody open.
Yeah, well, they're throwing the ball over the middle of the field. Definitely. We didn't see that last year, right? So there's an emphasis on, again, if you're calling that making them defend the whole field, like just don't throw straight to the sidelines or lateral to the line of scrimmage the whole time, right? Like, I mean, so again, to me, the scheme is better. The play calling is better, right? You just got to go out there and execute. I think I disagree on the offensive line. I think the offensive line, all things considered, had a pretty good first half. He had pressure on some plays, but for the most part, he's not exactly running for his life out there.
I don't disagree with that, because the thing I want to call to attention with that is that it's not terrible off play. It's really good schemes. That it's what I talked about. It's like when you make the third step of your drop, the ball's getting out of your hands, or they're using slide protection where they're putting him on the move to be able to make the throws. So it's not been terrible, but it ain't been great either. Anyway, we got to get back to the second half of this game. Hopefully, we can get this defense in order and get some points on the board here. We'll see y'all after the game's over with. War Eagle.
War Eagle.